and gentlemen, members and friends, Matt Bailey here from the Scotch Whisky Society. It's August, therefore it's Festivals month. The festivals are the whisky festivals that run throughout Scotland throughout their Scottish summer and celebrate the regions of Scotland. There are 5 distinct regions of Scotland, which you can see on screen here. And the one we're going to look at today are the Highlands. Now, the Highlands is technically, well, the geographically biggest region of Scotland. It covers the most land, it covers a high concentration of distilleries, and has its own distinct style that has always sort of been the DNA of that region. The Highlands is also a region that really overtook the Lowlands. If you've just watched the Lowlands video, overtook the Lowlands in terms of stylistically smaller stills, meant heavier spirit, meant sort of bolder flavours throughout the 1800s. However, it was 1823 with the Excise Act that really turned the Highlands from a rogue illicit distilling sort of culture into something much more real. And there's pros and cons to all of this. It's worth reading up on the Highland clearances, the Excise Act of 23. If you like your Scottish history, I thoroughly encourage you getting into it. For 2026, we're focusing on 4 new releases, 4 festival casks with their own individual gorgeous watercolour painted labels. You know, one of the bits of feedback that we took on from members in past years with the rare releases, if some of you might remember them, they were big batch releases of single malts at cask strength. We've gone back to single cask. We've gone back to single casks, and different countries are getting different casks because the cask can only stretch so far. And we've got a small amount of each of these to go around in Australia, which we're very happy to share with you at our events and online each week as that goes through online. I'm going to pick one. I'll tell you a bit about each one at the moment. 149.25, one of the more modern Highland distilleries on the far, far, far western coast of Scotland, the Ardnamurchan Peninsula, I could say. It's distillery 149.25, the 25th cask we've already bottled from this distillery. We've had some absolute crackers from this distillery, and 10 years old is about as old as the distillery. The distillery is, I think, 11 years old right now. So this is about as old as their distillery actually is. So this is old peated spirit from their distillery. The Whiskey and Almond 10 gave that a 92. Now, on their scoring system, that's unbelievably high. We also have 60.56 Happy Days. This is in the toasted oak and vanilla, one of my favourite profiles by a long shot. I love those savoury, biscuity kind of whiskies. I've said that before. I like sweet ones, of course. I like smoky whiskies, but sometimes you get that really savoury, biscuity kind of style spirit. This distillery in the Highlands definitely has that kind of style. Their core range has it. Independent bottlers have had it. This is from a second fill HTMC hogshead. HTMC meaning heavy toast medium char, a cask treatment process which was pioneered by the Scotch Whisky Society. And then we also have 66.259 red wine, a bunch of time. Extra matured in a Cab Sav cask, a Cabernet Sauvignon wine cask, 27-year-old lightly peated Highland distillery. This is a distillery that was where their blended product, which is called Teachers, was sort of integral to their success as a single malt later on, and is these days owned by Suntory Group. And of course, we also have a 78.99 Is It Cake. I've done a little video on this one already. A richly decadent dried fruits and spices creators collection. They are all part of the creators collection. The whole festival is one giant creators collection. There's, I think, one set of the full set available for sale. And there's 2 virtual kits of the whole set available, as well as the virtual, as well as the events, as well as the bottlings. So there's so many different ways to try these whiskies. But one thing you might notice if you've just been following along, if you've stayed this long into the video already, is that 2 of these whiskies are peated. That conversation around what is a Highland style, and they're both Highland peated whiskies. I personally love that style of Highland whiskey. Like when you get that sort of, I call it like mountain smoke, and smoked bacon and those kind of notes in a whiskey. You're often getting that sort of Highland style of whiskey. I love an Islay whiskey too. Everyone loves Islay whiskey. Well, actually, it's quite divisive. There are some people who hate that style of boggy, damp, mossy, sort of wet cardboard style of peat. But in my case, I quite love them. I love the Highland style ones, and this one's smoky and fruity, and so is this one. They're both in the same smoky and fruity profile. One's 10 years old, one's 27 years old. I think I've decided which one I want to try next. I'm going to try this 66, and we'll have a quick nose and taste of it on camera here. Nice afternoon for a wee dram of something a bit old and rare. You do immediately, the first thing on the nose after just pouring it, you could almost convince me it's not peated. It's very light. I mean, old peated whiskey loses smoke, loses peat after that many years in cask, but it picks up this lovely, often crystalline, sugared almond, sort of white peach Danish note out of some of these whiskies. And a white peach Danish. White peach Danish. Wow. I mean, the wine cask there has not influenced it very much, as you can see from the colour and from the nose. We'll have a taste. That's gorgeous. That's silky and delightful spirit. 50.9% natural cask strength after 27 years. We're very lucky to be able to get some of this product in and share this around with members. The full Creators Collection and of course the full Highland whiskies are part of the week 2 releases for August Outturn. All the details on smws.com.au. If you're watching this and if you've made it this far into the video, you're probably a member. Thank you. You've got access to the world's greatest whiskey club, the world's biggest whiskey club, with 42,000 members around the world enjoying what we do, events, tastings, masterclasses, dinners, of course, partner bars, our amazing partner bar network. I should have mentioned that both that one, the 149, and I think it was the 78. Anyway, they both scored 92 from the team at Whiskey and Almond, who know their whiskies. They taste dozens of new whiskies that come through every week. Very excited to share all of these around. Second week releases, these ones for the Highland region, celebrating the Highlands of Scotland. Of course, if you're travelling over to Scotland, visit one of our 4 venues. If you're travelling around the world, your access to the society is global, and we love seeing you at our events coming up. Sydney has sold out, and by the time you're watching this, has already happened. But of course, there's festival events happening all around the country, and virtuals and bottlings every week. August is huge. Thanks so much for coming on this journey with us. See you soon.